looking at the last few months of 2025 for the United States, according to Bazi, Chinese astrology, and forecasting into what the year of the fire horse means for the United States. So welcome, my name is Lydia Griffith. This is Fire Horse Wisdom. I'm really happy to be with you today and to begin rolling out these 2026 forecast videos. If this sparks interest for you, you find these videos rather groovy, join my community as we're growing, and I welcome you. So subscribe, like, hit the bell, all the happy things. And just so you know a little bit about me, I'm a master level Bazi astrologer, a feng shui consultant. I also am a spirit guide. I offer all kinds of wonderful services, including your 2026 New Year forecast. What does your year ahead mean for you? After the near possible shit show of this year, in which the snake asked us to strip ourselves down to, well, depending on your Bazi astrology, some aspect of your life went through a radical transformation, possibly. And what does that lead you into for the year of the fire horse? Where are you headed to next? And those, just so you know, those New Year updates break it down month by month. So great time to get a reading with me. Just saying, let's get into it. The United States, I'm going to hold this happy puppy up. Hopefully it'll come into focus. It's a mess. I know. It's got a lot of notes. I did this chart a long time ago. Hopefully it's not backwards. And if it is, I'm so sorry. Working on getting all these kind of technical things improved for you. Because the way that I do these readings is, for me, I really like the sense that I am sitting down with you, having a cup of tea. And you and I are having a conversation about a Bazi astrology chart. And, you know, if it's political, I try my best to keep a very neutral, unopinionated approach to the reading, as if it were your own chart that we were reading and looking at. So the United States, born July 4th, 1776, at the hour of 17:13, gives us the four pillars of a Yang fire monkey, the month of Yang wood horse, the day of Yin earth ox, and the hour of Yin water rooster. Now, I've said a lot about the United States Bazi astrology. If you go into all of my videos and you search United States, you're going to see lots of them. I was doing month by months for a while this year, going through, just like possibly you, my own grand transformation. Actually, just throwing it out there, and there's a link below if you're interested. I also am writing articles about feng shui and my own current interesting life journey on Substack. So I welcome you to go over there and read some of what I've been writing about. So anyway, all the things. This year has been a pretty interesting year for the United States. And when we're looking at where we are, one of the most important things when I'm looking at a chart is, yes, we have the four pillars, but I want to know what luck cycle you're in. Now, the United States is a pretty young country. You go into something like, you know, the luck cycle of France, for instance, which I've done, and you go all the way back. It is a lot of information to go tapping through. Sorry, heater making fan noises, not so fun. This luck cycle, we are in the last bits of. It started in 2017, which is an interesting thing to look back at what was going on for the United States, who was president, all the things. It's a yin earth sheep. Now, there's a lot of interesting components to this because, and I've mentioned this before, the enemy of the sheep is the ox, and the United States is born on a day of a yin earth ox. President Trump is born also on a sheep day, the enemy of the people of the United States. Now, that is not an opinion. This is, again, astrology, and we're looking at these two opposing animals in a head-butting, breaking open, or with conflict, things can break open and become released, which for the United States would be things like potential for wealth, potential for health problems. Like it also could be potential for rise in things like the stock market. It can also be a rise in the patriarchy. It can be a rise in creativity, function, action. Okay? But the bigger piece of this is that breaking open, or is it breaking down, right? And for some people, they might be having their own unique experience outside of this collective astrology. But for many of us, this period, 2017 to 2027, as an American, is asking us, who are we? What does it mean to be an American? What does it mean? And in that identity, reclamation, or, when you are in a position where something is challenging you, challenging your person, challenging how you perceive yourself. One of the things that I think is an outcome of this since 2017 is a rallying of people in community. Okay? And one great example is when the government was shut down and the SNAP benefits went away all across the United States. I was seeing this beautiful rise up on a local level of people coming together in community to feed those that cannot feed themselves. And all these food drives, beautiful, beautiful expression of this Bazi astrology. It's also all the protests that we've seen over the course of this luck cycle. People rallying together is a big piece. People holding together in elections, in protest, all the different ways to say, this is us as Americans. Now, in that, interesting, there's been a lot of division and polarity. And again, you have two opposing forces. So, people might ask, what's coming next? Indeed. So first, we've got to reel it all back to, yes, that's our current luck cycle. And as our current luck cycle, this is also looking at sharp shifts and changes within the job market specifically. And also, I would add to that resources that are made available to us in like SNAP benefits, like bank loans, like grants, funding of any kind. And we've seen funding cuts all over the place, especially this year. So this year of the snake truly has been a transformative time. There is a overarching, almost oppressive energy of wood, but wood is actually helpful as far as creating stability. Hold the phone there. But with that comes, again, abrupt shifts and changes in the job market. And you look at all the federal employees that have been fired, rehired, laid off. So again, what do we have within the opposition of this luck cycle is instability. Okay, so now we drill down to this particular year and we're looking at that. Radical shifts and changes within the job market. And add to that the snake as yang fire is very much highlighting government, the law, the judicial system, politics. All of this has been inflamed, literally, this yang fire inflamed. And within all of that, radical transformation. So now again, if this was your Bazi reading, right? And you happen to be born on a yin earth ox day, you would also be getting the same astrology for this year, just as a yin earth person, because we all are represented by one of the 5 elements in either yin or yang form. I myself am a yin water person. That information, given my 4 pillars of my birthday and time, are going to reveal all of this. Okay, so that this information of, we take all of that into consideration. If at the root of radical shifts and changes in the job market, along with a strong emphasis on the law, the police force, you think of ICE, you think of politics, the way that the government is running or not running or changing, all of that is wrapped in radical transformation. And I said it at the beginning of this happy little year, that somebody, whoever became president, was going to come in like a wrecking ball. And that's what happened. And that, my friends, is the radical transformation that we have been experiencing collectively all year. So this month of the pig, November, that runs November 8th through December 8th, according to the lunar calendar, is the enemy of the snake. And so there is a collective conflict happening. And the pig for us is highlighting, and I believe, it's a yin fire snake, is highlighting banking, funding, literally, again, things like social services. This is so amazing watching this play out. And the pig coming in with wealth, anything having to do with money, anything having to do with fame, how people are recognized, who is in the news that's getting lauded, right? Celebrated. Who is, it's also highlighting family, home, could say real estate, property, travel. We had an interruption here with travel because of the government shutdown. I think things are recalibrating and getting back to some form of normal now. But in conflict, what we see is challenges to the housing market, challenges to property owners, perhaps related to taxes or something. Also looking at, again, who is being celebrated, who is in the news. Big thing about the Epstein files. I did a short about that. And then the idea of work, home, family, our duty to all the things we're responsible for. And it is fraught with conflict, opposition, challenge. Not an easy time. Not an easy time. And then we head into a Yang Earth Rat month of December. We're rolling out, we're wrapping up this year for the United States. And the Yang Earth, because we are a Yin Earth country, is so much about looking at who we are. There is something shifting that narrative. This is also for President Trump, who is a Yin Earth person, and there is this identity crisis. It's like having Alzheimer's or dementia. Who am I? I don't know today. It's a great time to reinvent myself, which is the positive spin to that. Could be a reinvention of, could also be a breakdown of identity, a loss of identity. It just depends on how it sits. But the bigger overarching question of this time for the United States is, who are we? What does it mean to be an American? Interesting question. Feel free to put in the comments below. What do you think when you think of being an American? What comes to mind? Please be kind. Please be respectful. Think about your words, friends. Then the rat is about resource. It is about funding. It's about finance, everything having to do with the economy and money. It also speaks of a caution to our health. Okay? It is also very strong about the patriarchy. Interesting that we as a country are born in the month of the horse, right? July 4th is still the month of June, technically, according to the lunar calendar. So it is a horse month that is the enemy of the rat. And the month is who I look at as kind of like the elders in our community. Are in opposition to. So there is something happening in all of that as well. Then we wrap this year up with a Yin Earth Ox. It's amazing. We end the year sitting, looking in our own mirror. What are we looking at? Where are we in community? Where are we with our brothers and sisters? How do we feel independent and sovereign? And within that, the patriarchy, where money is flowing in. Where are we with our health? So you've got health, wealth, and our ability to feel motivated to take action. All of that is being mirrored back at us. January is a month to pay close attention, because what we are seeing is telling us what it is that it is to be in this country right now. Are things escalating? Are things calming down? Because the year of the fire horse, my friends, is a fireball of energy. I'm not kidding when I say everybody should have an astrology reading. Sit down with me and have an intuitive reading on Zoom about how to utilize this energy for yourself. You don't want to reach burnout. You want to jump on the saddle of this fire horse and blaze off into something amazing for yourself. And maybe for you, it's being able to take the reins and say, whoa, Let's go to a trot. Let's slow it down. But you won't know what those reins are about without a reading. Just saying. Now, for the United States, the horse surges in focus on women, government, justice, the courts, the judicial system, politics, politicians, how we are governed, plus all those services that support our daily life, education, faith, spirituality, the temple, the synagogue, the church, the fire circle. How is that defined and expressed? And who are the American people today in 2026? It is the last year of this luck cycle. There is a surge of fire, which is what supports us. We don't need more fire. In fact, if you think of the landscape of the year of the fire horse, it's Phoenix in August. You ever been to Phoenix, Arizona in August? I have. It is like hellscape. I'm not kidding. Never felt a sun that hot. So it is a yang fire sitting on top of yin fire. It is like having a barbecue in August in Phoenix. Like, who in their right mind does that? And the yin earth of the horse is like the ash that collects in, from the barbecue, right? So the fire isn't helpful. We already have, not as extreme as President Trump's chart, but we are a very hot, dry country. And even though our metal, our output is balanced and our water is balanced, which is how we prosper and make money, our ability to be stable in our jobs, stable in what we are controlled by, what keeps us in check, is weak. What is weak? And fire is taking that wood and sucking it out. So you've got twigs sitting there to feed a bonfire of heat that isn't even needed. It's already super hot. Forecasting, I think, a lot of drought, forest fires, and extreme heat for the United States this year. Then, looking at this, there is a semi-fire seasonal trio with our luck cycle of the sheep. And the horse, because again, we're born in the month of the horse, is a self-penalty. It's kind of like you're battling with yourself, or because it's a country, the people are battling with each other. It's called coming to maybe a head in 2026. It's people who are fixed, frozen. Yeah, I know it's all this fire, but stuck. Fixed mindset, not a growth mindset. And it really speaks of overreach of the government and the judicial system. And again, looking at education, faith, how our faith is expressed, how it's safe to practice our faith, how services and programs are there to help support us. Like having a government that pays for early childhood education, for instance, then that would be something where the changes and transformations of 2025 lead into something transformative, a transformative action response to everything that happened this year of repairing. Could happen. It could happen. And really, where we're moving into in 2027 is a radical period of change. So I'm going to leave us here. And again, astrology can go towards the light and the dark. And we may see a dance between the two as the flames flicker. So again, thank you so much for being here. I so appreciate you. Until next time, friends, please be well.